I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop Flosstube. Thanks for watching. Today is August 5th, 2020. Today is a special day because it is Will and Peyton's 11th birthday. Yay, they are so awesome. I hope they're watching. I hope they're having a great day. So I'm going to show you a picture of them when they were babies. So look how cute they are. So on the left is Will, and on the right is Peyton. And when Will was born, he was 8 pounds. And Peyton was born a second later, and he was 5 pounds, 12 ounces. And look how cute they are. And little Peyton still has his blue blankie. So that little blue blankie right there still sleeps with one of them. And then I have a more recent picture that is from Father's Day. And so Peyton is on the left, then Emma, then Kevin, and then Christopher, and then Will. So you can see the twins are on the left and the right, and they look nothing alike. But they're really close and they're sweet. But yeah, when they were born, I think the biggest thing for me was they looked so different. And they, today, to this day, like they're super close, but they are not. There's very little that's similar about them. So that's very, I guess you're just not, like nobody ever told me like your twins are going to be totally different. So happy birthday to them.
Lots of people wishing them a very happy birthday right now. Also people complimenting your shirt.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for the birthday wishes.
Yay! And I want to show you, we have some free stuff that we're going to show you later on, but I wanted to show you a lot of new stuff we have and some stuff that we have coming up. So the very first thing we have is a brand new club, and this is it. It's right here. This is the very first shipment. It is called Snapshots. And the designer is Pine Mountain Designs, and I'm going to show you kind of up close and talk a little bit about the club. So this is January. Each month you will get a kit if you join the club, and in the club you will get DMC that's hand selected by me, so it's going to be different colors than the pattern. You're going to get the pattern. You're going to get the vintage cloth by Lori Holt. We're going to all use these colors. It's Farmhouse. And then you get a conversion chart. So you can see what the original chart was charted with, what I used, and then we've got notes. And it tells you how many strands to use for cross stitch, back stitch, if there's any other changes. And it's super cute. So I have January finished, and we have the video online of how to frame it. And it's super easy. This is just a simple 8x10 frame from Hobby Lobby. And in the video, we linked to the frame. And what you could do is you could just buy one frame and switch out every month all of the frames. So you don't have to buy 12. I'm going to also show you May. This was my favorite one. And so I made this one first, just because whenever I'm making something, I like to make my favorite. So I made this one first, and each of your pieces will be similar in width and height. There might be 1 or 2 stitches off. So that is January. This is May. And then each month, of course, I'm going to be showing you, each week, I'm going to be showing you what we make so that you can see. So for example, this weekend, I am going to stitch February. So I have February ready to go. These are the colors and the patterns. So you can see we kind of went with traditional traditional Valentine's Day colors. Some of the colors were a little bit hot pink, and we wanted them to be a little bit more traditional. So I will show you that when I finish that. And now I'm going to show you all of the different patterns. So you've seen January and May. So this is May. March. And so what I'm doing is I'm picking colors and then stitching, and then I move to the next one, pick colors and stitch. So this is March. April. You've seen May. This is June. I think that one's super cute. This is one of my favorites, the July. August. September. October, November, and December. And so the club starts in January. It goes all the way through December. It's going to ship around the 3rd of the month. And like I said, you get a 10 count vintage cloth and you get DMC that I pick. And if you already have the pattern set, for example, say you've already bought the pattern set because you really liked it, after the club ships, we will post on our blog the different color changes so that if you want to make it your own, you can. And if we have any leftover kits, we will put them online after. So let me know if you'll have any questions with anything. So yeah, that's our biggest question that we've got is for people who already have patterns. We can't take the pattern out of the club. So you either buy the club and then sell the current pattern you have on like eBay or something, or you can just come to our blog and we will have that after the club ships.
All right, we got a question from Sandra Carrillo. What is the stitch count for the fabric for the Snapshot Club?
It's 10 count, and the reason we did 10 count is because we want it to be really big and we wanted it to fit a frame, and so that was the one that would fit. And they will finish about 9 by 6, which fits in an 8 by 10. So it gives like a little bit of room around.
All right, we had a question earlier from Marsha Roth. They said, good morning, Kimberly and Lily. Kimberly mentioned a keeper for the Lori Holt stitch cards coming after the first of the year. Can she give us any hints about it?
I can tell you that it's in development. So Lori is still designing it. We have picked the size, but now we got to decorate the outside of it.
From Nita Poole, when can we sign up for the club?
Now.
Ooh.
So it should be in the links below. It should be the very first link. And we have lots of members already, which was super exciting because I do get nervous when I put stuff together because I put a lot of time into it. And then I think, gosh, what if I put it online and nobody buys it? Then I'm not very trendy or I have really bad taste. So it's always really nice when people believe in me because I get really scared sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I think it looks really good with, you can see, like, it looks like a picture. Mm-hmm. If you made it smaller, like if you put it on 14 count, it wouldn't fit a standard frame. And, I mean, you could make a pillow out of it, but since it's snapshots, like with the little things for the photos, we thought it fit best in a frame. And we also like that it's just a plain 8 by 10 frame. You can frame it yourself. I mean, that frame didn't cost very much. And obviously, I have 2 frames because I needed to show you 2 different ones, but you don't need more than 1 frame.
All right, from Mary Lou Kleiner, can you just get a few favorites in the Snapshot Club?
So if we have leftover kits, they will go online probably 2 to 3 weeks after the club ships. They will go at a higher price though.
From Sewing Becca, are you selling the patterns without the kit?
Yes, and the patterns are online now. The patterns have been out for about probably 8 years. They are by Pine Mountain Designs, and she has a quilt shop in Utah near Lori's house that I've been to lots of times. So Lily's been there too. She just hasn't. Did you figure it out?
I do remember, yes.
Yeah, so it's like the store is like part cross stitch and part quilting, and so I think her quilt shop is called Pine. It's slightly different. It's not Pine, no. It's similar name but different. Mm-hmm. Pine Needle Designs is her quilt shop, I think, and then Pine Mountain is the cross stitch, something like that.
From Crafty Chats Cafe, you could do pin cushions too with the snapshot?
I think you could. They might be a little big. I mean, maybe with the month. Mm. But each of the ones will be slightly different.
All right, and before we move on, we had a super chat that came in earlier for $9.99 from Valeria Bauer, and it has a little pair saying thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yay, thanks Valeria.
So I want to show you some other exciting stuff. I'm super, 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 I can't even tell you how excited I am for this. So next week, we have this PDF for sale now. It's a very low price PDF, and we have a video online now of how you would finish it. And if I can do this, you can do it because I am not a finisher. But this is a PDF. So what you want to do is buy the PDF and then join me next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, I'm going to sit here and the video is going to be just this little set right here. And I am going to have the pattern. And I'm basically going to have all the things that I'm using. So I will basically be set up. I'll show you how I'm going to be set up. I'm going to set up just like I was starting. So I'm going to have my fabric. I'm going to cut my fabric down. I'm going to show you how I calculate it. I'm going to have my floss flowers. I'm going to wind my floss on my floss flowers. And then I'm going to stitch this. And I'm going to just stitch in hand, and I'm just going to show you different tips and tricks on what I do. And the reason I'm doing it is we get so many questions on how to do different things. And I want to just show you how I do it and how I go really fast. Now, I just want you to know when you watch, you don't have to do it the way I do it. And so I'm just going to show you what I do, what works for me. I'm sure a lot of you will think kind of how I do things is a little crazy because I don't really carry threads and I just do everything a little bit different. So I'm just going to show you what I do, and I'm going to try to stitch the whole thing. Now it's going to take more than an hour, but I'm going to try to just stitch fast and just show you what you can get done in a day. It's a great weekend project. This is just a simple little circle frame from Hobby Lobby, and we link to it in the video. But so we want you to get this, and then basically pick whatever Aida you want. This, we picked 14 count Aqua. Sorry, I'm like, where's the name? So we just did 14 count Aqua, and then the DMC we're using is Blanc 347, 989, and 535. But I know a lot of you will pick different colors. I think you should pick something that would match your house. You know, if you decorate a lot with aqua, use aqua. If you decorate with black or navy or green, do whatever you think will match your house the best. And then this little frame, actually, if you go to Hobby Lobby, it comes in like 4 colors. So you could pick any color. You don't have to have an aqua outside frame. And of course, you could also just get a wooden frame and just have a wooden, you could paint it. And then what we did is we put sticky board on the back with a fabric that was similar. So I'm excited because we've never done anything like that before. And so I guess I'm a little bit nervous about, since I haven't done it before. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh my goodness, you're silly, you waste time, blah, blah, blah. So I'm kind of opening myself up to you guys seeing the craziness that I do. But I hope that maybe you get one tip. Maybe there's one thing I do that might save you time, or one thing that you never thought of. And so we thought we would do that. It's celebrating World Cross Stitch Day, which is actually next Friday. But I thought, well, let's just celebrate on Wednesday instead.
All right. Sweet comment from Laura Hafner. She said, no worries, you have good taste and you definitely know what you're doing.
Oh, thanks. Sometimes I know what I'm doing. I woke up at 4 a.m. yesterday, so I'm a little bit tired today.
Yeah. From Crafty Chats Cafe, how do you avoid puckering where the hoop closes?
So you just do it over and over, and you just pull it. Yeah, you just pull it, and if you put it in and it's not tight enough, you can just pull it. And you can see there's a tiny pucker right here. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. I mean, when you put it up on the wall or on a stand, nobody's going to notice. It's never going to be 100% perfect. But what you do is you put it in, and then if it's not tight enough, you can like pull out here, or you just take it all the way off and start again, and then you want to go tight here.
Mm-hmm. From Goose Design, Denise, what section in Hobby Lobby did you find the circle hoop frame?
In the stitching section, so in the cross stitch section. And if you look online, when you see the frame, because we do have a link to it, it's going to say multiple colors. So if you bought it online, you're just going to get a random color. So that is one thing. But we were trying to find something that was inexpensive, that you could do at home, just like the 8x10 frame. Something you can do and you can start and finish in one weekend, and you can feel like you did all of it by yourself.
Yeah. Also, I had seen some questions on our YouTube on the video asking if the sticky tape to hold the back together, how it holds up, or if they should use hot glue.
Oh, you can use either, but me and a hot glue gun, we're not friends. I somehow cannot figure out how to get the glue to not spit out everywhere, but it is stuck. I mean, it's stuck. It's not coming off.
All right.
But if you like hot glue, use hot glue. I think hot glue is also something that if you use it a lot, you really get used to it. But if you don't use it daily and then you just get out a hot glue gun and you think you're going to do something, that's a disaster for me waiting to happen. Because I try to do stuff so fast and I'm kind of hyper. I cannot, hot glue gun, no. No.
All right. From Lori Holt, Kimberly, you need to add a library card to the back of your hooped frame. Or your framed hoop, sorry.
I do. Okay, I will.
From Gail Stale, with 10 count fabric, do you use more strands of floss?
You use 4, and when I'm stitching, I'm basically stitching the samples myself, and if you need more than 1 skein, you're going to get more than 1 skein. So in January, you get an extra blue and an extra red, and in the May, you get like an extra white and an extra blue or something. So you will have enough when you use the 4 strands. And we're just using DMC because I think DMC looks best on 10 count. And I just think it looks so cute. I can't wait to put these out in my house.
From C&M Flowers, question, I'm a sporadic stitcher and just started watching. I've noticed no hoop marks. Do you not use one?
I don't use one, and so next week I'll show you how I stitch in hand. I used to use a Q-snap. Cheryl, who we show a lot of her work, she uses a spring tension hoop, and even with hers you don't see a hoop mark in the end, so it's really whatever you prefer. But I will show how I stitch in hand. So I'm going to show you my Jolly July finish because we have finished Jolly July. So Jolly July is a collaboration with us, Fat Quarter Shop, and Priscilla and Chelsea of Stitching with the Housewives, where you celebrate Christmas in July and just stitch Christmas. So I'm going to show you. I am so excited to show you that Jolly July, I have completed everything. So what I did is I put each day, I put the total number of hours, because I'm a little bit OCD. But this means I'm totally done, and then I'm going to finish this book up. This is going to be my book. It's going to be just for Jolly July, so if in 2 years somebody asks a question on the YouTube channel about what I did in Jolly July, it's right here. So Jolly July is done, and I'm going to show you what I was able to finish. So this one is Kringles. So this is Little House Needleworks Kringles pattern that came out at Needlework Market in 2020, and I love it. I have never made anything like this. So I am, I guess, a little bit more than halfway done. So my very next section is going to be to put Jolly here, or Jollies, and then do the bottom. I am going to take a break from this because it has a lot of color changes, and it's really hard to watch Dateline when you keep changing colors. So I need to do this when I am not watching TV, like if I was at a baseball game or at a dance convention that's going to drag on and on. That's when I need to do this. It looks really good, but yeah, I've never done anything with this much detail. I obviously am going to do all of my back stitching and French knots, Colonial knots at the end. But it's really pretty, and it's going to look really nice in my house. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it this year or not, but it definitely will be finished, maybe by March of next year. And I kind of this is how my bag looks. I literally just throw everything in there, and that's what I like about having different bags, is you just pick it up and go. Nothing has to be neat. When I'm done with the project, I will neaten all the threads and then put them in my stash. And I can actually show you that in a little bit. This one is Jolly St. Nick. So I finished this one. This is Priscilla and Chelsea of Stitching with Housewives, and he's so cute. Yeah. So I did remember, I almost forgot to put the back stitch on the words and the eyes, but I somehow remembered. But I'm going to send this to Priscilla to finish for me. Super excited, and also, we can do a pop-up of the 4 ornaments because I sent those to her, and those are also designed by them. So I already sent these to her last week. So she has these, and Priscilla has a brand new fabric called Priscilla's Pretty Plaids by Henry Glass. And so I asked her to just finish it with her plaid fabric. So that's super exciting. And with their plaid fabric, we are going to have a quilt kit and a table runner called Farmhouse Plaids. Called Plaid Farmhouse. That is the pattern, the fabric, the kits are going to come out in October. But that's super exciting, and Priscilla designed it. We're going to publish it for her, and it's going to be very beginner friendly. So I'm excited about that. But I'm going to send this to her today. And then, yay! Mistletoe Lane is all finished. So this is a pattern by us, Fat Quarter Shop, and it was a 5-part series, and if you buy the PDF now, you just get the entire thing. So it was like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and part 5. I'm going to actually hold it up and show you next to Cheryl's, if possible. Well, this is not. There we go. So I just wanted to show you, we use the same exact thread, we use the same exact fabric. She stitches 1 stitch at a time with fancy floss, and I stitch with whatever. I just go whatever order is fastest. And you can see that her banner, can you get, okay, so like right here, you can really see a difference between the two. You can see that mine has little variation and hers has more. And also here, and that is why, because she stitches 1 stitch at a time. But overall, in general, if you just look at it, they look the same. So to me, I've gotten so many questions on YouTube about, oops, this fell off my bag. I get so many questions on YouTube about, you know, why do you stitch in a row instead of in an X, because you lose the variation. And I'm like, to me, it's all the same. So I think it looks similar. And then I have a big finish. So I'm gonna have Lily take a little poll. Ooh. And y'all, okay, so what I do want to show you this. What I do when I'm finished with a project, at the very end of my project, I go in and I neaten up all my floss flowers. Any that have very little left, I take off. And I will take this home and put this in my thread cabinet, but I keep it all neat when I put it in my thread cabinet. So you see it's messy during the project. When I'm done, I clean it up, and I save anything that I have any thread on. These, I had run out. So I'll take these home today. I wanted to show you, we sell it as a thread, as a pattern set now, so you can get all 11 now because the 11th one came out last week. So you can get the pattern set. And we are going to have more of my thread sets, which are totally different than the designer's thread. And that is going to come out probably next week because we ran out of one of the whites. And on the back, you see the original version, my version, and what you get in your pack. But now I can show you what I made. It's all done. I want y'all to guess in the comments how many hours this took.
Ooh.
So, Lily gets to guess first.
45.
Oh. No. Okay, y'all keep guessing and I'm going to talk. So what I did was I finished this one and then I went back, and it took me 3 hours to do all of the backstitch and the colonial knots. So if the colonial knots right here, you can see in the snowman's eyes. I learned that from Cheryl. We have a great video that we've linked below to colonial knots, and that will show you kind of how I did them. A colonial knot is, it shows up a little bit bigger and it's not as bulky, and you don't have to pull it out as much. But I will tell you, one of the things that I did is in the pattern, you will see that there are back stitches right here that is like makes the sign. it like connects the sign. And I put that in, and I thought that when I got it framed, these are gonna drive me crazy because they're so long, and I messed with it to try to make it look good, and I just really didn't like it, and I just pulled it out because I'm not really sure if anybody looks at it that they're gonna really be like, oh, those back stitches are missing. I just didn't love it. So, or do you notice it, Denise?
The back stitches.
No, I don't know. I didn't love it, so I pulled it out. So I did all that back stitching, and I just didn't love it. So yeah, I did all of my, so yeah, okay, tell me the other guesses.
Oh man, we got a lot. Okay.
Okay, tell me the guesses, and I'm going to take a drink because I'm really thirsty. I'm sorry.
Okay. We got 100 hours from MJ.
Okay.
29 from Christy Smolkovich. Stephanie Marie says 80. Frankie Easter says 112. Chris P says 108. Amy Saniva says 80. Norma Jean Sakari says 125. Goose Design says 101. 85 from Redhead Beauty. 106 from Jennifer Jungles. 112 from Mary Kate. There's a lot of guesses.
So it's 110 and a half hours.
Oh.
So that's a lot, but I'm happy to have it done, and I am going to take it to the framer. And I've already picked the frame at the framing place, and Emma has dance. The framing place is like downtown, and Emma's dance is pretty far from her house, so she has dance this week. It's like a choreo camp with just 13 girls, and so I'm going to get this framed somehow. So excited. But when I go to the framer, I'm going to take this too. So this is my other last finish from Jolly July, just to show you all my finishes. This is Christmas Typography by Pine Mountain Designs. So I'm going to take this to get it framed. We have a beautiful frame here that we had gotten. We have a beautiful frame here that is so pretty. We've had it for like ever, and it's a red frame that has like a scallop. But when we put it in there, it was like probably maybe an inch too big. So I was sad because I thought, well, I could just take that to the framer, but it didn't fit. But if I could find like a red frame with kind of a scallop, I think that would look pretty. We do have kits available for this with exactly what I used, which is slightly different than what the author or the designer used. And I wanted to talk about one little thing. So we got a lot of you calling customer service about this. So on anything that Pine Mountain does, when she shows you the list of threads that she uses on the back, she does not designate how many skeins. And we couldn't figure out, we thought at first, okay, she used 32 count on her sample, maybe that's why she didn't list the number of skeins. But then, because we got so many questions, we went through a lot of her other patterns, and it's just not something that she lists. So I'm sorry for everyone who had to come back and buy more skeins. We just didn't even think about that or notice that, or most designers list the number of skeins, and we just had no idea that she didn't. So just throwing that out there. And we put on our website now, we adjusted it. What you need is you need 3 greens, 2 reds, and 2 blues. Now this is 25 count, so if you used 14 count, it might be different, or if you stitched over 1, it's going to be different. And when I stitch, this is also going to affect it, is I don't carry over between my letters. So I don't go from H to O to H. I start and stop. So I use more thread because of that. So for example, I'm working on a sample this weekend for something really cute that we're going to do. And I told Denise, hey, get me extra skeins because I don't carry over. So it really depends how you stitch, how much thread you use. So super cute. So that is all of my Jolly July, and this is a cute bag from Denise at Goose Designs. Let me know if y'all have any questions on any of this. And we do have the kit available now for Christmas typography. And we use some of the colors she used, but some of them are different. And the fabric that we put in here was 25 count Cloud by Lori Holt.
Okay. Real quick, I want to shout out the people who guessed the number of hours correctly.
Yes.
It was 3 people: Mary Fowler, Sherry Wilkinson Crawford, and Marcia Freeman.
Yay!
Great job guessing, everyone.
Lily, she guessed 40.
I was like, I should have just guessed an outrageous number.
What did you guess, 40?
45.
45.
Yeah.
She was only off by times 2.
Double
45.
it and then add a little more.
Oh, yeah, 1.2 or something.
Yeah. I was not doing this accurately.
But, you know, and it's so funny because I really do keep track of my hours. But, you know, when I finish something, I'm so excited to go to my office to keep track of my hours. And the reason I do that, if I was just stitching in the real world and I didn't have a job and I wasn't doing this for a job, I wouldn't write any of that down. The reason I do it is I have to plan my hours. And you can ask anybody who works here. I have every hour planned. There's no lunch breaks. I mean, I take a lunch maybe once every 2 weeks. I don't have lunch breaks. I don't have free time. I have to plan exactly what I'm going to be doing every hour, almost of every day. So I keep track of it so I can actually plan my days better. But I am really excited about next week and stitching with you guys, even though I'm nervous.
Oh. Patricia Lawson had said, "What about purple?" And then she said, "Mom's interested to try a simple pattern."
Oh, well, I can get you some purple and I can get you the pattern and you can stitch next week. So my mom is just like my daughter. So I tried to teach Emma a couple weeks ago how to cross stitch because obviously in the pandemic they have nothing to do. So she knows how to sew a little bit, but she doesn't really like it, and which means she doesn't like it at all. So I actually got her like her initials and had her try it, and she like after an hour was like, "You do this. This takes too much time. I'm not doing this." And I had her do it for like a week and she just really did not enjoy it. And she's just like my mom. My mom and my daughter are just alike. So I'll bring you some purple and we're going to see how many stitches you get and if you get past what Emma did.
Ooh.
You and Emma can sit next to each other and y'all can see how far you get.
All right. Let me get to the questions here. From Karen Dean, do you always stitch vertically or horizontally?
Okay, so we're going to go over that next week, but I stitch top to bottom because when you carry threads from the bottom to the top, sometimes they don't lie perfectly, and I'm OCD. I know some of you guys don't like my OCD. That's just how I am. And I stitch from left to right. That's just how I stitch, and that's how my brain works. But that's all just preference. And I'm going to kind of show you, if you go from the bottom to the top, a little trick you can do to make your stitches lie flat. Because I cannot stand if you do it and then your stitches all start weaving, or like they go like that. That's my dance for today. But they do, and I can show you that next week.
From Nita Poole, she was saying, if you take your project out of the hoop every time you finish, you don't get any hoop marks, for the person who was asking earlier.
Yes, and I think that's what Cheryl does, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Denise says yes.
Mom was asking, how many projects back do you own? I love them all.
Oh, I have about 30. So I have a drawer, and I have some crosshatch quilts. Is that right? Mm-hmm. That's the one I showed you that Lori got me. I'll show it to you. She sells them on Instagram, and so Lori bought me this one, and for I think my birthday, and then I'm gonna buy some more. So this is by Crosshatch Quilts. She's only on Instagram, and then I also get them from Goose. Her name is Denise, off of Etsy, and then we sell some and we make some, and then when we're making them, I think of what I would want. But I have 2 drawers, and I keep them nice and flat, and then basically when I get a project, I throw it in here. I have a bucket, and it's in my office, and so if it's in the bucket, that means it's ready to go. And I, like, for example, yesterday I had to take Christopher to it was a doctor's appointment, but it couldn't be virtual. So when I took him, I thought, oh, I have to have something to stitch in the waiting room or whatever. So I just go to that bucket, I just pick out anything, and you're gonna see what I picked out in a little bit. So yeah, I just keep everything in a bag if it's ready to go, or flat if it's not ready to go. Mm-hmm. And you know, I like bags. I have so many, okay, let's tell this story. I have so many like tote bags Kevin and I got a storage unit. So when we bought our house like 3 years ago, we didn't realize it didn't have an attic. So that's fine. And then we have a lot of storage in our we just put like the cheap little, what do you call those, shelves that you can get at like Home Depot.
Oh, Closet Made.
Yeah, like that. Like you just throw it in your garage and you just put stuff on it. But then we still didn't have enough room because we keep everything. Like we keep all of our kids' baby clothes. We have everything Christopher and Emma wore until they were 2 years old. We have like stuff from when I was a kid. Like Kevin has a trunk from when he was a kid. We had nowhere to put stuff. So we rented a storage room. And then I decided, well, since we have a storage room, I can clean up my closet. And I took all these bags, like boxes of bags. And when I stuffed all this with my kids, and then my kids took it to the car. But then Kevin is the only one with the keys. So we drove there and Kevin got these boxes out and he was like, why are you storing bags? Why don't you just get rid of the bags? And I was like, they're my bags. Like, leave it alone.
Bags.
Why do you have baseball cards in there from when you were 5?
Oh.
Same thing. So I have a problem with bags, but I like my bags.
Sweet comment from Wisco Jean. Great job. You completed your Christmas and July projects. Treat yourself. Go get an ice cream.
Aw, ice cream. Yeah, we're going to have cake tonight for my boy's birthday. So I'm going to go to, there's a Whole Foods right by my house, and I'm going to get 2 different cakes that are smaller because they have the best cakes, and then they can just personalize it. So I'm trying to decide what to get because they like different things. So they like different foods. They like everything different. One likes rap music and one likes reading Harry Potter. Nice. That's how different they are. They're night and day. Their skin color's different. Their hair color's different. Their height is different. Their weight is different. Kevin always says they're similar, and I'm like, I would like to know what they're similar in. And I think their similarity is that they like each other. That's about it. And they get along great, but they are not anything alike.
From Crafts for Others, how big is Snow Village if you do it all in one piece?
Denise can measure it. I don't know. Or we can look on Country Cottage Needleworks. I stitched on 18 count, so mine came out smaller. So we'll look. It's all on countrycottageneedleworks.com. Let's see. It has a stitch count of 223 by 185. So it depends what kind of fabric you use. So mine, you would just divide like 223 divided by 18, which is what I did. It's 12 and a half by 10 and a quarter. So kind of that's one thing to think about when you're buying fabric for a project. For example, for the club, we wanted it to be something that you can start and finish in your house. You don't have to go to a framer, you don't have to buy fabric, you don't have to do anything else. So we specifically picked the 10 count because it would fit an 8 by 10. And everybody can get an 8 by 10 frame, whether you're in the United States or in Australia. It's a standard frame. If it would have fit an 8 by 10 frame and a 14 count, we would have put it on 14 count. So it's kind of one of those things where when you start, you think about what you want to do. Now on Snow Village, because it's so big, I'm going to take it to a custom framer, so it didn't matter.
From Denise Marie, when will Snow Village number 9 be back in stock? I'm at a standstill.
Oh, any day. It's all on order. One of our distributors was out of one of them, but should be any day. I ordered it from the second distributor.
And Crystal Rose said today is also her son's 10th birthday.
Aw.
That's sweet. Happy birthday.
I know. So when I talked to them this morning, I said, do you know how y'all are born? And because one of them was born exactly at 8 o'clock, and one of them was born at 8:01.
Wow.
So I told them, because I left the house at like 7:30, I was like, watch your clock, set your thing. And then, one's older by 1 second, but they use that over each other.
Oh. We have a few more questions, but I'm going to save those for the end.
So I'm going to show you some other Jolly July. So Terry has been stitching Vintage Christmas Sampler, and she's using DMC. and she's stitching on 32 count Belfast. So if you have seen, she's done some previous ones, and then I think she's going to make them into ornaments. And then when she makes them, we can show them. And then Christina made Mistletoe Lane with 10 count black by Lori Holt. And I wanted to show you on the edge, she used masking tape. And if you use masking tape on the end, it will stay in place if you don't have a sewing machine, and it works just fine. Now, when you put on the edge, washi tape will not work, but masking tape, this is just straight masking tape from Home Depot. So if you can't zigzag your edges, just throw some masking tape on there. When you frame it, you're gonna cut it off. It doesn't even matter, and it doesn't even get in your way. So that's one question that we get a lot, but you can see it doesn't come off. Washi tape will though. And then I wanted to show you, to celebrate Christmas a little bit more, there was an event called Flamingo Toes Christmas in July, and it was a little Christmas series. And what they did is there's 3 designers, and they did 2 free cross stitches each. So there's 6 free cross stitches right here. So you can use these for this year's Christmas or for next year's Jolly July. So this is Flamingo Toes, her 2. These are 3-inch hoops, and she did pom-pom trim. So that's the front. So this is Bev McCullough, and then this is the back. So she just put that pom-pom trim, and it covers her 3-inch hoop, and it's so cute. And everything about what they did is on their blogs, completely free. It has the thread, it has everything in it. So you would go to Flamingo Toes to get these 2 free. And then the next 2 are by Jedi Craft Girl. It's Amanda. And she has a Christmas tree and a Christmas block. And so she did the same thing, where she used a 3-inch wood frame, and I'm sure you could just get those at Hobby Lobby or Joann's, and she did the same thing on the back. And then what they did is they just put the ribbon through the hoop thing. So these are super cute. And again, Jedi Craft Girl, go to her blog, completely free, and everything is on the pattern. That's a PDF that you can download, and on the blog. And then Christopher from the Tattooed Quilter, he has done a lot of videos for us on our quilting channel, which is Fat Quarter Shop YouTube, if you want to subscribe there. He's a quilter, and he did a snowman and a little block. Aww. Cute, right? Mm-hmm. And then it looks really cute on the back. So they all kind of did the same thing, but very different. And those are all completely free. So if you are looking for something free, I would encourage you to go to those 3 blogs, which is the Tattooed Quilter, Jedi Craft Girl, and Bev from Flamingo Toes. Yes. And all the links are below, but those are free, and thank you to them for letting us borrow their cute little ornaments to finish out Jolly July. It came just in time.
Yeah, so cute. All right, I'm going to start going through some of the older questions we have here. From Kelsey Peterson, for Prim Stitch series, how big of a border do you leave if using Aida?
Depends. So we have a cutting guide right here. This is for 25 count. And on the very back page, this comes with your club or free on our site. And it tells you option 1, option 2, and you just have to calculate. So you could leave a smaller border if you cut from one piece versus a bigger border. So you just have to calculate. You have to calculate your total stitch size, which is right here, divided it by 14, and then you can add 2 inches around or 3 inches around. It's up to you. And you can see, we can show you a pop-up of what Lori has done. Hers is stitching on the 25 count, and she's doing it all as one big piece, and I think she's used about a 2.5, 3-inch border, and so that's how she's doing hers. I'm doing mine individually, which I can show you now. This is part 1. And Lori finished it for me, and she used her Prim fabric, her natural lace, her paint, and her paint is denim. And then part 2, if you're in the club, it's shipping today. So if you are in the club, you get this pattern, and this pattern will be shipping out today. She made this one for me. She also used her Prim fabric, her lace, and this is Blossom paint. And these are how the patterns look. They're full color, glossy cardstock. So if you look on the inside, this is how they look. Color, super easy to read, and we give you Aura Floss and DMC. They all come out to the same size, and you can stitch that as one piece or 2 pieces. And then a super exciting thing to announce is we just finished our sample for Lori's next cross stitch design. It was our most requested quilt that people wanted turned into a cross stitch. And so we will be releasing that very soon. I believe that next week we will probably be able to show it on the coming soon page. And then the week after we will have the actual sample to be able to show on live stream.
All right, questions here from Marcia Freeman. Are the thread colors marked? I think she meant on some of the patterns we were showing.
Yes. Thread colors marked. So most patterns have the thread name, and then you can change your colors, and then the thread name usually has a symbol. If you want to ask like what specific one, I can answer, but I don't think anything in here doesn't have a thread. Even on these, they have the thread here. And they used Aura Floss. Huh? Oh, so on this, they used symbols, and you just have to figure out which one goes with which. But it's super easy because it's like dark green, light green, red, black. Super, I mean, they're so beginner. They'd be great for kids. So I wanted to show you some other whips. So this one I decided to get out yesterday. This is one of our Gingham on the Go bags, and I had this thrown in. This is how much of a mess I have it. But I had this in my bag ready to stitch. It is the Liberty Chalkboard by Hands On Design and Priscilla Blaine. And I've had it in there a while, and I decided to start it. This is the very last chalk fold that I have not finished, so I'm going to try to finish this pretty quick. Usually what I do is I do all the white, and then I fill in the red, the green, and then the light blue. And I just kind of wanted to see how the colors were looking, but I can probably have this done in a week or 2. So that's my whip for the week, and I started that yesterday. I didn't get very far, but I got enough. And what I do with this bag is I kind of just fold it in half, and then it can just go wherever. Another whip that we have is amazing. It's so amazing. So this is Teresa Kogut's CW samplers called Land That I Love. Cheryl is stitching this on 32 count Legacy Lugana by Picture This Plus. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. It's amazing. Look at that. It's amazing. So, and you can see where she just finished her stitches and she just threw. Now the one thing that I think is amazing is she just stitches. She doesn't have to use a magnifier. Wow. So pretty. And there's some brown in this flag, and it gives it that dimensional look. It's so pretty. So let's see. She's about a third of the way done at least, because she's like right here. I want to admit that any kind of border like this I've never done. I've never done something that intricate, and I watch a lot of floss tubers, and they make me nervous because what they do is they'll do the whole outside and they hope it meets up at the end, and I'm like, oh no, I would have to just do a little bit. I would be so scared that it wouldn't complete. But it's so pretty. And then I wanted to show you some framed finishes by Priscilla and Chelsea. So the very first one is October Trucking Along. So this is Priscilla stitched it, and she finished it, and it is part of our Trucking Along Club. It's shipped out today. Now, if you're in the club, you'll be getting it very soon, and if we have any kits left over, they will be online in about 2 to 3 weeks because our club members get it first. And look how cute. So what she's doing is she stitches them as 2 different pieces right here. And then she put the cat in the middle. Now when I'm stitching them as one piece, and then you can see the difference. But I love it, and I love the, I love how these are like pumpkins with vines, but then her next one is this one, which is pumpkins in a little candy jar. So what is that called? You keep the pumpkins in the
Jack-o'-lantern? No.
I was going to say a trick-or-treat basket.
Trick-or-treat basket. So they look different. So this one is Calvin and Trixie. So cute. So if you signed up for this pattern pre-order, it shipped earlier this week. If you didn't sign up for it pre-sold, you can order it online. She finished this with her brand new, this is her brand new Priscilla's plaids that will be in stock in about a month. This is a different plaid here. And this little tray right here is a pumpkin tray or a pumpkin wood piece. And you can buy this from Layla May Designs. They are going to be selling these on their Facebook page. We're not affiliated in any way with them, but I've bought some stuff from them, and it's all been great. So her son and son-in-law, or one of them, I can't remember if it's their son or son-in-law, make these wood pieces. So if you wanted to make it like this, it's so cute, and this is like the cutest thing I've ever seen. So maybe she'll save some for when I make mine. And then the very next one is big. So you have to give me a second. I'm going to just put it right here because it's too big to lay down. So it is called Trick or Treat. And it's so cute. It's so big. Look how big it is. And so she finished it with the same cute little things. And this is a pumpkin from Hobby Lobby. The number on it is 501-5375, and it says Hobby Lobby Fall 2020. So she must have got this recently. So lots of different ways you can finish, but oh my gosh, thank you for letting us borrow it. It's so cute.
It's so cute.
I know, right? Look, this is what Lily can dress up. She can dress up for Halloween in this
Oh, yeah.
next year, and then she can match it.
Yes.
She likes to dress up for Halloween.
I love it.
So big. Okay, so let me know if you'll have any questions on Priscilla and Chelsea's pieces. They're so beautiful, and thank you for letting us borrow those. I'm going to make, so we're going to be doing, again, Stitchtober, and I'm going to stitch Calvin and Trixie, even though I don't have a cat.
Ooh.
Maybe Priscilla can draw me Piggy's face.
Oh, a little Halloween witch's hat. Oh.
I know, Piggy, he'd get you.
Oh.
I know my mom asked me the other day, has Piggy ever bitten anybody? And I was like, no, that dog is like the nicest dog ever.
He's very sweet. All right, while I wait for questions to roll in about this, I'm going to go back to some of the older ones here. From Mom, what is your favorite floss to use?
Oh, I like all flosses. Okay, I like Aura Floss because it comes in these little spools, and so I can just pull it off the spool and start. I like that about it because I don't have to sit and put it on floss flowers. I like DMC because it's cheaper, and I like the colors, but I don't like having to start and put them on the floss flowers. It takes like an hour. I like Classic Colorworks because it just comes right off the skein and it's already pre-cut. I really like Weeks Dye Works. On that one, you have to cut it before you start. Honestly, I like all the thread. I think Cosmo's really nice because it's got a sheen to it, or like a shininess that other thread doesn't. But to be honest, I like any thread. It would be hard for me to say which one I like the best. And I think each project, maybe it's a little bit different. Like I think this one looks really good because it's got the variegation. I think this one looks really good because it doesn't have the variegation, just the different styles. So I think the style of your design, with if you want it hand dyed or not. I haven't tried NPI silks. I will say I love Belle Soie. I haven't used it recently, but that stuff is like butter, and it is awesome. But there's no way I could stitch all my stuff in that. It's way too expensive for me to like do all these things. And I like to do a variety because then it doesn't get as boring. So I didn't answer your question, but I don't have an answer. I'm sorry.
I think that was an answer. From Deborah Carroll, how are silk threads different than DMC in use and look?
Okay, so silk is thinner. Some come with 8 strands. Some come with 12 strands. Some silk is spun and some is woven. It is, some is variegated and some is not. So they're all different. It would be the same thing as like every other thread. It's different. They're all different. So Belle Soie has the variegated look because it's by Classic Colorworks. NPI is just a solid. I haven't tried NPI yet. I think it's easier to work with because it's really soft. So when you thread the needle and you just stitch, it just glides much better. So you can go faster. And I think it's just really pretty. I really like the Starlit Snowflake that I did with the Belle Soie because of the variegation it gave to the star, and that only used 4 colors. So I would never do a project that had like 20 colors in a silk because to me I'm like, okay, that's like a lot of money when I could just do it in DMC. So I think I consider all of the things, the size, the number of skeins, the look or the style, or just kind of what I'm in the mood for, or maybe what's on the shelf right then. Like I had a project that I did this weekend. Guess what? I had it and I just picked what was right on my shelf. Emma has all my Aura Floss like by color. So I just was like, here we go.
And we had a suggestion from Jenny Lombardo. They said, what about doing a kit for a small project that includes the new silk thread? We all want to try it, but it can be overwhelming to jump in on our own.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So when I get to the NPI silk, when I get to that, I will think about something that's small and yeah, totally do that. NPI silk is on my list for about 2 months from now.
From BB, will there be a stitch along in Stitchtober?
Oh yes. There's gonna be like 4 that I know of at least. 2 are original designs. 1 I'm gonna stitch Calvin and Trixie, this one, and I am going to stitch Autumn Typography, and I'm also going to stitch the brand new, Denise is gonna have to help me with the name, hands-on design that has the text, Let's Talk Chalk. And guess what? They're all kitted up and they're ready to go. I just have to wait till October. So they're in my box. I just have to wait. So I wanted to show you, I am continuing on with Singing on the Rain. I'm almost done. This is by Bev McCullough of Flamingo Toes. So this is hers. This is just a simple 8x10 frame. She used the 25 count by Lori Holt. And here is mine. So I used my thread pack that I put together for Aura Floss, and I wanted to show you some differences on this row. So on hers, she outlined all of her fabrics in backstitch, and I honestly will do anything to not backstitch. I just don't like it. So what I did instead is right here. Can you see that? Can you zoom in a little bit? I think it might be okay though. Right here, I added 2 stitches. Yeah, I think it's fine. So like, see how that's like flat? I added 2 stitches and I made it kind of like a flower that had 2 points. And then I inverted the colors throughout. So I did like light, dark, and then I just did all green stems where she did blue. And then she has an outline on her blue, what she did is like a half stitch right here and then a back stitch. I just did 1 cross stitch. So I think that's what's great about cross stitching is you can have fun, you can just change stuff up, and you can just do it the way you want to do it. I just really do not like back stitching, so I will come up with anything to not do that. So let me know if you'll have any questions. That is all my stitch stuff for this week, which, oh my gosh, thank you to everyone who stitched, sample makers, Cheryl, Terry, Christina, did I get everybody? And Priscilla and Chelsea, and Lori, everybody, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll show you some new stuff we have also. when I'm done. And then this cute little bag Bev made for me. So cute. I know, I love it. It's like the perfect size because it just goes right in my purse. I want to get a new purse, so I'm going to get like a new big purse.
Ooh. From Michelle Moore, on the Lori Holt Stitch Card Club, which set will it begin with?
F, and it's amazing, and it's been photoed, and it went to the printer on Monday, and I love it, and it is going to be part of Stitchtober, and it is amazing what Lori did. I cannot wait to stitch it, and we will have everything, like the thread, like Denise ordered all the thread, and it's great Halloween colors, and then, yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's so cute. It's Halloween.
From Donna Monk, how do you think 1/1 would work for Prim if I want to do it as one but smaller? I have the 25 count Lugana.
I think that Jan Hicks is doing it over 1. So go check out her. I'm like 90% sure that's what she's doing, and I know she has like part 1 partly done. So if you want to see it, she's got a video on it. And I have 0 experience in stitching over 1. I'd probably pull my hair out. But Jan Hicks, go to her channel, and she's super awesome. And if you put a comment or something, she'll write back. And so I've got some new stuff to show you. And this one I'm super excited about. So I love Christmas, and I really like this book. I rarely, if something comes in, I get to see all the new stuff. I rarely will say, oh, can I get one of those? This book is really well done. It is kind of a hardback. Is that what you call this, Lily?
Hardcover.
Hardcover. Okay. And it's just real. Let me try to find some pages that I could show you without a chart. So like, for example, there's just lots of different designs. They're traditional. There's kind of a modern. There's kind of a young. I'll show you one that's not. I can't show you the charts. So isn't that cute? This is like the best thing ever. So I would totally make this, but I would totally change the colors. Like I could see this in Lily's house because it's got it's very trendy, and it's got purple. Like she likes purple. My mom would like this. But I love this, how they did the letters. There's just a lot of detail in this book. The only thing I would say about this book is I would change the colors in every single design. Because some of them are very modern, and some of them are very like 1980s Christmas. But the designs in this are spot on. I love it. So I took this home. I love it. Some other new things we got, this one I'm excited about. This is the Christmas Square Dance Part 3. So at Needlework Market in 2020, Heart in Hand came out with this. It's going to be a 4-part series. So in the end, you will have 12. And I think it will be maybe my Jolly July next year where I make it all into one. And we did a trunk show on it about 2 weeks ago, so you can see all that. But I do think all 12 will look great. She also has Patchwork Crow, which I know a lot of you like birds. And Pocket Round Crow. So this is like when she showed her trunk show, we sell these little bowls, and you finish it and you set it on top of the bowl. It's kind of like a clay pottery-ish bowl. And then Hands On Design has a brand new pattern called Ghosties and Gourds, and we have the thread pack for color and cotton. We are going to stock color and cotton every skein. We should have it in about 2 to 3 weeks or so. And the difference in color and cotton is they 8 yards versus 5 yards, so you get more per skein. And it is variegated. I haven't tried it. Cheryl loves it, I will tell you that. And it is here. Oh wait, no, they're 65% done filling our order. So basically when they have our whole order, we will have all of this by the skein. But what Kathy at Hands On Design wanted to do when I read her blog is she wanted someone to be able to just come and buy this, and get it. And this is Kermit fabric by Picture This Plus, and it is, and we do have it on order. For everyone wanting Picture This Plus, they have put out several updates that you can find online. They're very behind because of COVID, so the fabric will come when they're available to send it, but it is on order, and it's Kermit. And there's also a Witchell color that's yellow-green. I guess that's green, but it's a similar color. We also have this one, which I'm excited about.
Ooh.
Look at it. I think Denise is going to make it. I think she has to make it for Flosstube.
Yes.
You have to make it. It's so
Yes.
cute. I wouldn't even change the colors.
No doubt.
It's so cute. I love it. And then Prairie School or Country Season. So this is book 123. So it's their 123rd pattern, and they re-released it. And then 2 hands-on design patterns that just came in. Grace of a Flower and Present Blessings. And then our flash sale today is, we have this easy count grid, and we got this because of a customer request, but this is if you are a beginner and you don't want to have to grid every 10 stitches. And then it will come out. It says, like, when you finish your project, soak it in bath of 90-degree water with a gentle cleanser. Soak it for about an hour, and the lines will disappear. Now, I want to be totally transparent and tell you I haven't tried it. But I know a lot of people that I see on Reddit use it. So, and then this is our flash sale pattern for Madame Chantilly called Spring Jasmine Tea.
That's really cute.
Yeah, so let me know if you'll have any questions on any of that, and just remember to come back next week where I'm going to stitch with you, and you can get all your stuff. You can buy the PDF, you can go to Hobby Lobby, pick your own colors, you can stitch with whatever you want. We just wanted to have a day where we stitch, and then it'll kind of give me a break, and then I don't have to stitch as much this week to show you, because I do feel like I have to stitch like a million things, and I might need a little break.
Denise from Dot Goose Design said, "How's Piggy?"
Aw, Piggy's good. He's good.
And then Priscilla and Chelsea said, "Thanks for showing our new designs, Kimberly. Happy birthday to the boys."
Aw, thanks.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, I'll have to I was going to take pictures of them this morning to show, but then I was like, you know what? They don't want to be up yet. They were both up. They just weren't. One was downstairs and one was upstairs.
From Pokey Little Pineapple, is Color and Cotton a new FQS stocked floss?
It is going to be in stock in about 2 to 3 weeks, and it is a hand dyed floss similar to Gentle Arts, Weeks Dye Works, Classic Color Works. It just comes in larger skeins. It's a newer company, and we had a lot of requests for it, and Cheryl really likes it. So we decided if Cheryl likes it, we should have it. So, I wanted to show one other thing. Okay,
Yes.
Sorry. So Lily popped this up. I've had a lot of questions, so I thought I would address it. So, that is me. And I'm going to tell a little funny story. So the other night, I couldn't sleep, which is typical. Woke up, and Amanda had sent me all these emails and was like, I don't understand what's going on. All these people are asking. They say you're on TV. Why didn't you tell me? Are you in a movie? And I was like, what is she talking about? So I had to wake up, and then I looked. And so what happened is on HBO, they are doing a special. It is done with Billy Jensen and Michelle McNamara. Michelle McNamara passed away. She is she was married to a very famous comedian. Can't think of his name right now. And she was on the hunt to find the Golden State Killer. She's the one who actually coined the name Golden State Killer. She worked with Paul Holes. She really pushed him to use genetic genealogy. And then she passed away, and then they caught the Golden State Killer. That was about 2 months before CrimeCon, which is where this picture was taken in 2018. And I had gone, and that was when they were introducing Billy Jensen. And I was just like, oh my gosh, Billy Jensen and Paul Holes, and oh my goodness. Patton Oswalt was her husband. So they did a panel, and they talked for about an hour about, the book. Well, now that book has turned into an HBO special, and apparently that day I was on TV and had no idea. And what's interesting is Lori and I both had talked about this show. It's a series, and we both agreed, because we talk every day, so we agreed we were going to watch that series when it ends, at the end of part 6, because we like to binge, and we want to wait till we have a day to watch the whole thing. So if I had been watching it on time, I would have seen myself. But imagine waking up and getting all these emails, and you're like, I'm not. She was like, what? I'm like, I'm not on TV. I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, yeah. So it took me a while to get my bearings, but it was really awesome that customers saw this, and I just thought I would like say where I was. Some people were concerned that I was in public during coronavirus.
Oh, no.
That was in 2018, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So it was probably, I mean, I'm crime obsessed, but that was my favorite vacation I've ever taken, ever. It was by myself, which does say a lot about how much of an introvert I am. But it was an awesome way to just hear about people and, you know, how the genetic genealogy, because now, you know, 2 years later, that's all the rage. Genetic genealogy 2 years ago was not what it is today. And just learning about it in the very early stages of what people are doing to fight crime, even if it's like a 40-year-old crime, all the things they're doing for victim advocates. And then actually some of the victims were there and they got to speak, and I thought it was great.
So funny comment from my side, when I woke up and saw the picture they had posted in the morning, I showed my boyfriend, and at first he's like, no, that's just someone who looks like Kimberly. It's not her. Like, the lighting's all wrong.
No!
Well, funny part, I was like, no, I know it's her because of the nail polish. That's Cajun shrimp.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, just the way
but weren't you confused when you saw it? You were like, why? I was so confused.
That's why he was like, well, no, she's like lit so well, like it doesn't look like real TV. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they did is at the Crime Con, they had Oxygen, the TV channel, sponsors that entire event. They film everything. When you go, you sign a release that you agree to be in any picture. That's how it is. And you go and there are like, I mean, and I had decided it was really like the best vacation ever. I would say it was a little bit overcrowded, but I paid for the VIP so I could get like a better seat. It's not guaranteed, but if you're stuck in the back, it's not going to be a great experience because you're in there with thousands of people. But you know, it's one of those things where I will probably go again. But I mean, I don't really like, I don't know. It's just awesome. But yeah, it was pretty exciting to be on TV. So I was like telling my kids, because, you know, I want my kids to think I'm half cool. So I was like, Emma, I'm so excited to tell you. And I was like trying to explain the HBO show. And she was like, what? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So then I was like, look, here's a picture of your mom. I'm on HBO. And she was like, you're crazy. Aww. So then I went home and I was like, Peyton, look, I was on HBO. And they're like, what's HBO? Because you got to think about, like, kids today, they don't know what HBO is. So I thought I was going to be so cool. I was like, I'm on TV. And then I sent it to Kevin, like, because it's in the middle of the night. And I'm like, look, I'm on TV. He's like, what are you doing? I mean, like, everybody was so confused. But that is one thing I'm going to do. Basically, it'll just be a day that probably I'm at work and have to order a bunch of stuff. I'll just sit and watch that whole series through. But me and Lori are excited so we can watch and see. We're going to watch it just so we can see me.
Yes.
So I just wanted to answer those questions because we got so many questions and people said, please talk about it. So I'm talking about it. But I will say, when I woke up, I was so excited that you guys told me, because I would have never known. I mean, I would have eventually known. That's the thing that Lori and I were talking about. We would have eventually known because both of us you were going to watch it anyway. Mm-hmm. We would have eventually seen it, but probably like 3 weeks after. So anyway, that's my I'm famous now because I was on HBO. Not really.
The 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, that's my like 5 seconds. What do they call that? 5 seconds of whatever. Yeah. Isn't that what they call it?
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all have a great week and come back next week with 4 skeins, any cloth you want, and our PDF, and we will stitch Happiness is Homemade together. And I'm just going to talk about stitching, and we'll have fun.
All right. Bye, everyone.